ladies and gentlemen. It's a chess show on Pod TV. My name is Sasha Star, and today we have a company of two professors. Ken Regan, welcome to the show,
Thank you very much. Yep.
and Daniel Fleetwood. Welcome, Daniel, to the show.
Mhm.
Hi, Sasha. Hi, Ken.
Hello. Yes.
Well, before we'll start to talk about the biggest news in the last few days, it's a spectacular freestyle chess. Some call it Fischer chess, some call it, there are a few other names available. I don't know which one will actually will become a common denomination for this type of chess. Freestyle, I think it's okay. Fischer chess is fine to me too. What I just like to say a few words about what distinguishes this type of chess from regular chess. And is there a chance that this chess will become a regular chess and regular chess will become a classical chess, like classical music by the times of Beethoven, Mozart, and a few others? The major difference is that in a normal chess you have a fantastic uh, the disposition of tactical and positional aspects of the game, and you have to be well versed in both elements of classical chess, as is well, there is another name, random chess. So Fischer chess, random chess,
Mhm.
freestyle chess. And freestyle chess, in my opinion, the tactical element overpowers the positional element, except
Mhm.
certain positions which could arise deep into middle game or even an end game. So the position would somehow human beings, they still want to gravitate to a normal chess position. So very often, sooner or later, the position will become almost one that would derive from classical chess. So in this case, then both elements of the game are becoming an equally important. So, but before that, the tactical element of the game is overpowering everything else. And I would like to know your opinion, both Ken and Dan. And
I'll let Dan go first. I have an opinion.
okay, please, Dan.
Well, I may have an unpopular opinion, but I think I have a common opinion. I really dislike freestyle chess, um, especially to play. And I only like the games when they get into the realm of, as you described, looking just like normal chess positions. Then they become interesting to me. But I don't really like the tricked up openings where you can lose a game on like move two just because of some tactical trick uh, because of the artificial starting position.
Well, you
But
have a case
I
in
know
point.
that people are entertained by it, and I'm happy to see it being popular.
Mhm.
So, just on something you said, Sasha, I wonder if 200 years ago, even before Anderson, chess was more tactical in the opening precisely because it was less mature. I mean, people played Evans gambits, other gambits right away, and we didn't really see strategy taking hold. Well, I guess I should credit Philidor for that. But so I don't know if that's a valid comparison when you lay out all the games. However, the game that we're going to show, the key game in the final, where Vincent Keimer, after shocking Magnus Carlsen, absolutely slaughtered Fariano Caruana in the first game of their two-game match, and then he held a draw, and that enabled him to win convincingly. And let's see, I guess I have to. Oh, wait, here we go. Window. Here we go. So I'm going to try sharing just the window. The font on chess.com's freestyle coverage is fairly bad. So I've ported the game into Arena. And Happy Valentine's Day. This game reminds me of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, however. So, okay. So anyway, so it's a case of how a really strong player in a classical game, 90 minutes on the clock to start with, can get a lost position very quickly. I mean, as of Black's rook appearing on c5, I think. So So white actually, this is a surprisingly good tactic. We make black put so let me show the basis of this tactic all the way. So this is a freestyle position. In fact, I'll go back again, where white is able to.
Ken, if you're showing the position, at least I'm not seeing it.
Oh, okay. So let me. All right, thanks. Yeah, I am showing the position. So okay, so this sharing screen is not working yet. Oh, actually, it undid itself somehow. Okay. Let me. Oh, do you know what? It's not picking up that Arena is a program it can target. So now I'm showing my whole screen. Okay, now let me know when you see the position.
There we go.
Okay, all right. That's I forget. Arena doesn't recognize an application. So white C4 creates immediately a deadly threat, which black has to defend somehow. And now we play. Now the thing is that white also is able to head off black's making the same threat by this move.
One more thing, I just want to tell you what commentaries was after knight f6. First of all, they said that it is a second-rated move, that the right move was knight g6. Number two, after knight f6, white, by playing c5, achieves almost winning position.
Really? Wow. Okay, wow. Let me see if
that's crazy.
Cypher 17. Yeah, well, the games of Massacre as it stands. Let's see. This is Stockfish 17 running in Chess 960 mode. C5. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Oops. Let me get rid of this and then. Let's see. New variation. Let's see what it says. Oh, that says black would be okay with knight g6, but obviously if I leave it running longer, you may be right. Okay, so that gain of space, that's really interesting. Well, the tactic that happens in the game is also notable. So
yeah,
let me turn off the engine for a moment. It's distracting.
And it's only third move, believe it or not. It says nothing like that could exist in classical chess. And I would like to then agree with you on something that, especially for older players like ourselves, all the years of studying chess, the games of Murphy, Karius, Botvinnik, Fischer, it's all going out the window in this variation of chess. And some people even refuse to recognize it as a variation of chess. It's a kind of interesting, some kind of a game, but it's not really chess, because all history, theory, traditions, everything is out of the window.
Yeah. In my version might be a little less random, where I allow white and black to place the pieces on the back row to advantage. That might have, greater continuity with classical chess. But anyway, this is just a very nice combination by Keimer. Now, by the way, the other thing to note is that just for the first three moves, each of the players have already used a half hour on the clock. I mean, Caruana was down to 30 minutes from C5, so at least they were thinking.
I can see why that is, because black's dark squares, C7, that looks horrifying.
Yeah, and the thing is that now black's queen is cut off, so white is able to chomp a pawn and invade, and black is not able to get drum up compensation for it. I mean, Stockfish. Okay, so actually, so I stand corrected here. I thought I had looked at chess.com's evaluation. So maybe this is okay for black. Let's see, E3, then C takes B4. Certainly by the time black plays rook C5, it's lost. Okay, so I actually have to correct my own impression of this. Let me just see, okay, so here's the chess.com rendition of the game. So let's see. So it's rook C5. let's see. No, this is showing. This is Stockfish 17 light, showing more of an advantage. Let's see. After knight g6, yeah, it is showing more of an advantage in the position to white. That's really funny that my own Stockfish 17 is calling a different tune in multi-PV mode. Well, what do you know? Okay. All right. So anyway, so bishop e2, but after this move, this is already a miscalculation by black. And so after this move, I think black is functionally lost.
Really?
Yes. Well, so in the other window here, okay, it's already giving white toward a more than a pawn advantage with knight g3.
Wow.
So I had the impression anyway that black just gets rolled when I was playing this game. So let's play it out. Knight g3, so white comes up. And by the way, there's going to be a nifty move. Just when you think black is getting compensation against white's king in the center, one of the rules of chess 960 comes out. So okay, so rook c2, and so here, black cannot castle. One of black's rooks is moved, and white's queen is sitting on h7. So black's king is stuck in the middle. Well, it looks like white's king is stuck in the middle, but guess what's about to happen? Black is threatening bishop a4. Looks like great counterplay. This shows as king g1 in the notation, but the castling rule enables white to do that.
So, that's just wrong.
Well, that's the way the castling rules work.
I know.
King goes between the rooks in the setup position. So now you can just tell that black is busted. I mean, it actually does look like a chess position kind of now.
This is something what I don't understand. Why they need castling rules in freestyle chess? Why they need any castling at all in freestyle chess? They might as well play a game without castle. First of all, it would increase 960 possible positions to probably more than 2,000, because then it doesn't matter whether the king is placed between rooks or on the right of the rooks or on the left. Why they need this castling, I really don't know. It just confuses both players and the watchers of the game.
Well, yeah, but it is pretty neat, though. Well,
maybe.
Yep.
Now, the position that we've reached here, if you were just looking at this, you would think that this is perhaps, I don't know, maybe 2,300, white's like a 2,300, and black's like a 1,250.
Yeah. Now, but I may be corrected again, because my Stockfish running on my computer thinks black is significantly ahead with but now when I go to the chess.com analysis window, though, after this, let's see, it gives f5, but has more than one pawn advantage to white. So something is very, very strange. So, we can't trust my that's a very weird
Ken, it's not happening very often in classical chess. All engines are approximately show the same result in all kinds.
Yeah, give me white in a correspondence game, and I'll be really happy.
Yeah, that's right. Unless there's something about the rules. Well, let's see. Rook b2. Well, right now my computer is moving as white. So I think my own Stockfish is buggy with. So I think that's the simple story. It has a. Let's see. Is the bug going to repeat? Yes. Okay. So no. So my computer. So ignore my computer. I'll shut it off. So let's just use our chess spidey sense here. Oh, now it's saying f5 is advantage for white. Well, my computer's crashed something. Okay. Anyway, so this is just busted. There isn't really anything that black can attack. Caruana is trying maybe to make a pawn on the queen side, but white is just coming for you. The knight on d4 is super powerful. And now white is able to roll up the queenside counterplay. start attacking, and Caruana felt he had to give up the exchange to stop White's knight from coming in. In fact, even knight e6 might have been in the offing in some of these positions. Well, after bishop takes f7, knight e6, of course. So here we go. Black attempts counterplay, but this is obviously very lame. And Caruana does not last very long, trying to get something together, but having to defend, and White just now is mopping up, and Caruana lost on time or gave up. So anyway, just a definite role. But
Yeah, my impression is that this was a game played on the level of probably 1800, maybe 19, no more than that.
Right.
There are no original ideas. There's no display of some kind of deep positional understanding or something. This is just random chess. We just saw random moves, and one side won and another lost. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. My script supposedly can handle chess 960. There's a bug that I haven't gotten to open. Well, let's take a look at the other result by Vincent Keymer, which was defeating Magnus Carlsen. This game was much more even, and Carlsen only blundered at the end when they both got very short of time. So I'll play through this game. This is a setup where there aren't hanging pawns, because the bishops on b1 and b8 are covering the a7 pawn. So now, by the way, I meant to say this is also cute. Black Carlsen decided to castle queenside. It's maybe a mistake. Probably better maybe to leave the option of castling open, but that's legal queenside castling. The king and rook just change places. I don't actually know what Black gained by doing that. I guess the ability to play an early d5, but White stopped that up. So I would say White has a definite opening edge in this position, but Carlsen is able to neutralize it. Besides, I don't even, so this and then f3, e4. Okay, White, I don't know if this simplification actually helped White so much. Now White decides to castle by hand on the king's side, and I guess there are reasons why the c4 pawn is not on prise. Just promote White's attack after king b1. So Black also now is castling by hand, and it's interesting strategy. More wing attacks. Now White with the king is a great battery. Opens up more space. Now White finishes castling by hand, and this position really is, intellectually even. Black's knight on f4 covers the e6 square, so that's not a problem. White gets rid of it, so White is able to get in knight e6, but Black should be able to maintain a dynamic balance. But one of the places around here, it's a position where a single mistake can definitely have consequences, and it's around here that Carlsen makes a tactically bad mistake, and then is quickly forced to give up material. But I don't think it's here yet. Let me switch on my engine, see if it is able to.
This is a position that you could have gotten from like a center counter or a Carl Kahn. So this actually makes sense.
Yeah. And so knight f3, good looking move. So it's just around here. Now, Carlsen was down to a minute. Keymer was down to 2 minutes on the clock, with 5 moves still to make. King a8, of course, a natural move. Knight e6. And I think this is where, so this is the move where Carlsen made a bad miscalculation. And it's not even showing so I don't know why my Stockfish has this weird inversion. Probably ignore it. But c6 is, in fact, a losing move. It was made with only 6 seconds left on the clock because there was a 30-second increment added to it. But after this, white is suddenly winning. Rook doesn't really have any place to retreat with. There's no convenient way to support it. And I think maybe what black overlooked was the pin on the G file. So if queen E7, for instance, then rook takes F3. The knight is just hanging. So it's like C6 was active, but it just weakened one thing in the black position, and now black has actually lost here. As Carlsen, recognizing that, sacrificed the exchange. This is suddenly over. He may have lost on time here. So anyway, so that was it. Sudden collapse. If we look at the chess.com window for this game, you'll see that Carlsen was actually in the game. I was a little behind, but not losing by any means.
What did the computer want instead of C6?
Just king B8 guarding C7.
Oh, king B8. Okay, yeah, I guess that. I mean, the rook just gets embarrassed there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Carlsen probably didn't do that, but it would have been easy for me to overlook the threat on the rook there. That's not the easiest thing to see in quick time, but I'm sure Carlsen probably saw that and missed something a move or two later, as you noted.
Yeah, it's weird that chess.com colors this only a light orange error. It's really the game losing error. And when the game was here, white had a small edge, but it was basically fine. And in fact, after G4, white should have come in with rook F7. So that's why black was a little careful.
Yeah, sure.
Allowing white in after queen C3. The game was just functionally equal after knight F3. So anyway, well, all credit to Keimer for just playing chess, as we would say. And if we have time,
not just chess, but freestyle chess.
Yeah, that's right. I guess maybe there is something to playing freestyle chess as a separate.
Well, I mean, Keimer clearly just is a lot more uncomfortable in these kind of, let's say, purely tactical positions than a lot of the folks who may rely more on pawn structure and kind of general principles. That's awfully accurate play in those types of positions where it looks like everything's just kind of thrown randomly on the board.
Yeah.
Something else, Ken, I would like to ask you if you agree that resisting in slightly worse or just worse positions in classical chess shows much more than in this freestyle. In freestyle, you see very often when one side gets into worse position, it cannot, for some reason, it cannot resist as fiercely as it would be in normal chess. Or that's just my impression. What about you?
I think you might be right. And continuing with that thought, maybe Carlsen is not able to grind as well in freestyle as he can in classical chess.
Also, time control is very different from classical chess. There's
you're not getting
almost all games, at least one side is in time trouble, and sometimes both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Some of these positions, Sasha, it would take me 3 minutes just to figure out where the pieces were.
Yes, I think that's probably right. Yeah.
I mean, you can't rely on the usual shortcuts that you have, right? I mean, we naturally chunk portions of the position. And here, if you have to have like individual groupings, once you get past 6 or 7, it's really hard to just keep that in your mind without being able to do the chunking. So I'm impressed by the folks who can play this well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's more for younger people because they're more flexible. They don't worry about history of chess and their opening preparation. It's all going out of the window. What's the use of Caruana? In fact, Caruana did very well in this tournament. I didn't expect him to take second place. But however, good for him. But Caruana is not well suited for freestyle chess because he's a great theoretician. He's great in learning and memorizing all variations in chess and opening theory and so on. And it's becoming all useless here.
Mm.
The overall chess theory may be becoming helpful in the second phase of the game when position is becoming a little bit more reminding the classical chess because for some reason chess players are still wired even when they're playing freestyle chess as soon as possible to reach more or less normal classical chess positions, and sometimes it's being done and quite easily, and sometimes it's impossible to do even right before the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but I'm quite fascinated. And Nava and I, we're watching. We get up 7 o'clock just for this broadcast, and we are watching it until it ends. Every
Yeah, I'd
day.
say this position after 8 moves looks semi-sane.
Mhm. Yeah,
But so anyway, was this must have been oh yeah, this was the game that White won. Yeah. So do we have time for classical chess?
yes, please.
Okay, so this was the ending of Vacanze, which we couldn't cover last week, was amazing because both of the leaders lost in the last round.
By the way, Ken, you should be aware that there is another name for this random chess is 960 chess,
Right.
meaning there are 960 possible positions. But in fact, it's only 959 because one of positions is exactly this one, which you just showed to us.
Yeah, good point.
Yes, I was going to say, in fact, so a point that I made on Twitter and to FIDE is that, in my version of chess, the classical position can be elected. In fact, Jan Elvas playing me elected that. When I say my version, it's really merging Bronstein, Banco, and Fischer's rules together for baseline chess where you can put pieces down. And then the issue of copyright or trademarking of the World Championship title, because classical chess is included, I think would be a much greater issue. But since chess 960 really is chess 959, as you say, they throw out the classical starting position, that contingency at least does not apply. And the other point, freestyle used to designate, it was Kasparov's term, the Kasparov said advanced chess, but at the same time, for humans and computers playing together. So it's like the meaning of the word has been co-opted. It's probably better in the chess 960 context, but it's still not the best nomenclature. Anyway, this was classical chess. Gukesh is white. Doesn't know whether a draw will be sufficient to win the title because of the other game. But let's go and see how this unfolded. So Black played the Petrov, and Gukesh played one of the trendier new lines. Yeah. So,
yeah, it's yeah.
Especially with the voluntary knight e3 earlier.
Gosh, this is just so much easier for Black to play.
Than White, you think? Yeah. So, I mean, it shouldn't be terrible for White. Bishop g2, Queen d7, but the thing is that Gukesh doesn't take Black's play on the H file seriously enough. Okay, so now White starts an attack. This is now a really challenging position. Black reacts in the center as you should. And now White stops the center play. If Black were able to play d4, there would be a serious expansion. And now here comes this play on the H file. And, amateurs are taught you just never capture on h6, on
Right.
h3 or h6. You want black to capture, and your king will then cover the square. But Gukesh had the idea that he's distracting black's queen away from the center, so now we can take over the center. But here comes black's counterplay, and it turns out that white had one chance here. Some sources show this as giving the advantage of capturing the pawn this way.
Really?
Yes, that's what at least one annotation that I saw thought that white would have been doing fine. Here, Stockfish, however, though, is saying it's just even. But anyway, the seemingly equally natural
Oh my goodness.
knight on e3.
In this position, I would have been terrified. I would have played queen g2 and tried to exchange queens before even thinking about the d5 pawn.
But queen f5 easily exchanges queens right on the spot instead of knight d5.
Yeah, yeah.
You could play queen f5, although that
absolutely.
that hands initiative to black. Let's just see. Your queen takes f5, and then black apparently just has better structure. I guess the c4 square is eventually.
What if I will play bishop g5?
Yeah, let's see. Bishop g5, knight e4. So
Well, take it.
mhm.
And rook e1, something like this.
Yeah, and then rook d5, and whoops, you're losing a piece.
Okay,
Yeesh.
you're right.
Yeah,
Well, see, this is why I would have very meekly played queen g2, admitting my mistake.
yeah,
Well, but I'm not Gukesh, so he's
right,
he's a braver man than I.
right. But he's soon a dead lost man. So,
Well,
so-
in this game.
yeah, now you could have played queen g2. Actually, here I would have pocketed my pawn, pocketed my pawn structure, played queen g2. Black, of course, would not trade queens, and black would, however, though, just enjoy a latent initiative. White's pawns are a little ragged, and black has open files. White's rooks are not in the game, so this is fine for black. But anyway, Gukesh just confidently went ahead. Oh, nothing's going to happen to me on this file. But you're right. Already, you've got to be shaking in your boots if you're white. So bishop f4. What a natural move. How could it be a mistake? Okay, well, black is going to whittle down defenders and just invade on the h file. So now comes queen g2, but it's too late. So this is now black. This is caveman chess. So the only thing black has to do now to fire the cannon is to route the queen to h7. So this is where I started watching live, and knight d6 is a natural safe move, and then black's initiative would crash through. But Ira Gaisi actually calculated accurately. There's one very deft king move in here in this line that we're able to just poke at one more weakness in white's position, and it will fall apart. So now g6, really nice bit of counterplay. It's like b6, and so if black captures with a takes b6, then this now has a double threat to eliminate one of the rook a8 check, and rook takes h8 will eliminate most of the problem. However, black is able to capture with the c pawn, and then come back. And now the point here, there is a point, which is that white's knight on c3 is defending the rook on d1, and not only that, the combination is preventing black from giving checkmate down the h file, because in some other positions. So here's the point. So it's not just that black's queen could take white's rook immediately. The other point here is that if queen h1 check, takes king g2, then black could capture rook d1, or you even throw in rook h2 check first. The white's knight was guarding it. Okay, so this undermines that. And now white does not have a defender on the back rank anymore. And here is the deft king move. If black played king b8, then g4 by white would give hope, because queen g3 check will come with check and give air. But king d8, there are no checks, and now white is just facing cannon. So queen, before the rook was loose, and here we come. So if white captures, then queen b1 check will be a full queen ahead, and that's a queen ahead anyway, and Gukesh resigned. So that was combined in the last round with Praggnanandhaa, who was also tied for first, losing to the same Vincent Keimer, where it just got a tactical position with neither player having time on the clock. And white actually played this, black can defend with best play. So white's now a pawn down instead of a pawn ahead. But this kind of position, so a computer can defend this. And actually, Praggnanandhaa defended quite well for a while. But I don't think a human with 30 seconds left on the clock is capable of keeping this at 0-0. And in fact, black needs the bishop on the d8, h4 diagonal to hold this. Bishop e5 seems the most natural move in the world, but then after h6, black misses a defense that could have been, and then the game was very rapidly over. So that was the other shock result that prevented Praggnanandhaa from winning the tournament in regulation, but he did win the playoff to become the Vaikonse champion.
Wow, Ken, thank you so much for showing us these games. There are so many interesting games and tournaments that are going on at the same time, and you hardly have time to follow all that. And
yeah.
It requires almost like a full-time dedication to that. And sometimes we are debating with now whether to watch this or tennis. And there are a lot of interesting games in tennis. We both prefer this. Trust me. It's very interesting. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
See you.
We'll see you next next week, same place, same time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.